so the Napkin Wizard is near its conclusion, and in all honesty, from here it gets more zany. His power started with a good build and a joke spell that soon warned its welcome to a charismatic, rich, and extremely powerful low-level character. We are nearing our peak and sudden downfall. To the DM, if you're hearing this, I apologize for how it went. To the other Warlock of previous contention, I also give you my sincerest apology for what happened to you. For the rest of my party, sorry. With that out of the way, let's jump on this wacky ride. With 2 days of sitting around, Landon Petrov didn't rest on his laurels. It was the dawn of the first day when I decided I was going to do a thing. I analyzed the gold and wooden staff that I wielded and thought, hey, why can't this be magical? Using the same tactic that gave me a weird teleportation spell, I made a magical stick. I rolled an Arcana check and was blessed by a natural 20. The sheer power of my stupidity gave me a +4 charisma staff. That was when my true powers were awakened. I proceeded to use this power to mess with the paladins and steal one of their shields. I then proceeded to corrupt the shield with Eldritch power and gave it to the party's paladin. This was the last action for the first day. The next day was devoted to hiking and getting kidnapped by an orc. That was how I began to distrust another group. I walked back to the cart just in time to get on the cart. We got in our vehicle and didn't realize the absolute comedic sight of Trick using all his strength to move the party in a wheelbarrow. With a pile of gold, a survivor of the town, and a makeshift hodgepodge of cart and a wheelbarrow, we made our way on. The destination was unknown. How much the DM dislikes my ingenuity is unknown, and the purpose of a weird warlock was also unknown. We eventually met the rest of the survivors group because when they jumped the metaphorical ship, he was unaware. I gave them a pile of camping kits to help them, which I acquired by one mean orc's pile of kits. After a ton of writing, we found a town. But this town was not like the towns of cities that we had seen in the past. This was an industrial, port and cottage-like town, and like my cart, it was a beauty. The guards led us to the mayor, who was a female elf. I chatted with the mayor, and with one crit success persuasion check, we were rich. What happened was that the town wanted our gold, and I drove a hard bargain. With that, us and the refugees walked the town. We looked around and found one thing in the ports: a massive trash heap of boats, sailors, and onlooking people. The mayor explained that this massive bonanza of sailing was a competition that happened once a year. It was the Grand Boat Race, and I wanted to be a part of it. I spent my share of the gold on a big ship, and wasted even more to get a crew. Then I searched for an urban legend of a great sailor who even the mayor knew little about. I was successful in finding the man, and he gave me the help I needed. In his retirement, he ran a bar which was in the town slums. I got a drink and the sailor man, and I sent him to my ship. And I got one more thing. In my first napkin escapades, I lost my suit to the sea, so I went to get another. I went to a tailor and found one suit which others could not. A more modern suit and tie which was extremely cursed. It rotted everything it touched, and I did not like it. So, on the day of the race, I threw it back in the store and got a new suit. It was a common suit with a makeshift top hat, and now I was ready for a race that would go down in the history books. With the end near, I made my way to the boat. I walked to the ship and made my way to the captain. He told me what to do, and I used Trick to muscle the rows. I helped with my ally with voice, and apparently they are not suffering stage fright. It was another urban legend. Apparently, there was a massive turtle dragon in these waters. There was one thing Landon Petrov did not fear, and that was big, ominous monsters. I made my way to the crew and gave them an exhilarating speech. This helped, and we were off. It was a stressful 4 minutes, And then I casted suggestion on an ominous figure in the waters. So then I had a dragon turtle to defend our ship and destroy others. We left the ship at the finish line with no other competitors, and then the dragon striked. I saved the day as I blinded the monster with a good Eldritch Blast. The ranger blasted a hole in the other eye, and the dragon fled. This gave us honor and a big ship. Then we went to the festival dedicated to our success. This was the funniest thing that happened during that time. A carny comes up to me and says,
"You might have defeated the dragon, but will you defeat this challenge?"
I roll a natural 20 plus some nuts modifier, and I end up gaining the carnival rewards, mostly spices. This was the last session I was in before I had to drop it because of my sports. During Landon Petrov's rise, I was playing high school football, and what ended my ties with the DM was the end of the session fancy meal thing. He reacted violently when I didn't attend. I forget who banned who, but it was the end of the Napkin Wizard. I played a campaign later, but it was never to the same effect as the Napkin Wizard. So I took to being a DM myself, and an old man with a weathered ally had presence in my campaign. The old Napkin Wizard is still kicking.